Hey guys, John here. I have a really awesome product review video for you here today. I don't do a lot of these videos where I'm reviewing products. I only do them when they make sense. These products make a lot of sense. I find them extremely useful and very, very awesome. First and foremost, we have a cup holder. This cup holder has 4 USB ports, so you can plug in your phones and accessories and charge them up quickly. This is one big drawback of my 2019 Model 3. The USB ports just aren't sufficient enough to charge my devices quickly. Not only that, it has an LED bar surrounding the perimeter of the cup holders, and there's a heating element to provide some aroma inside of the car, which I think is awesome. Along with that, there are 2 LED strips that go along the console. And then lastly, I have these LED bars that go on the door sills that light up when you open the doors. These look really nice at night. So let's jump straight into these products with the unboxing, and then we'll go into the installation and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so here's what we've got. We have the cup holder. If we open up the box here, we get a Hansshow logo, which is kind of cool, I suppose. You could put that on your windshield. We've got a QR code. It takes you to their website. And then inside of here, we have the actual product itself. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ports, and we have 2 control buttons. On the bottom here, there's a little disc. You can open it up and put a diffuser unit down below. Okay, so we have Charm and Cologne fragrances. And then these 4 ports on the bottom of the box, if you look inside of the box here, it tells you the specifications. You have total output of 45 watts plus 45 watts, so 90 watts total. You can use all 4 ports, and this should really add a lot. You have 2 USB-C and 2 USB ports. I'm a big fan of that. I'm going to be using that a lot. This plugs into the cigarette lighter, so if you have another device plugged in, unfortunately you're going to have to remove it to put this one in, unless you can get an adapter that accommodates 2 of these things. Here is the light bars that go along the console. Here are the door sill LED lights. Now these I'm a big fan of because the installation is super simple. There's no wiring, no tearing apart the car. These are battery powered and they're rechargeable. I did take these out earlier, so they might turn on as I'm showing you. However, they are light sensitive, so these will not turn on if it's light outside. So probably with this lighting, we're not going to see them turn on. However, it is possible. Let's open these up. There we go, they're starting to light up. So again, I did turn these on. You can turn them off by holding down this button right here with a little pin that comes with these little light bars. They have magnets on the back, and the charge port is built into the side right here. So you plug a little USB micro cable, which comes with this as well. Here's your little cable. This plugs in, and then you can charge these up, and then you have a whole bunch of different light settings. There's a little card that comes with it that gives you an explanation of all the different light settings. There's 25 different light settings on here. The back is in Chinese, the front is in English. These guys go on each one of these in case the magnets aren't enough to hold it. You can use these self-adhesive circles, so it would be 4 per bar. And then last but not least, we have these guys right here, which provide an extra metallic surface so that these turn off. Watch what happens if you wave this in front of here, it turns off. Now, if the metal of the door is covering it, it's going to turn off automatically, but this gives you that extra peace of mind that it's always going to turn off when you close your door. So I do recommend to just basically stick these on the metal part of your door. So let's get into the install. Okay, we will do the easy ones first. On your Model 3 or Model Y, you'll have these original metal plates. They're basically aluminum that go all the way across. You're going to want to remove these. They are secured on there with some tape. You just pry these very carefully, go very slow, and I would recommend starting from the edges to pull these out. So start here and pull up. And then once you remove these all the way, that's when then you put this on. Now, I am not quite ready to remove these metal plates, and in fact, you don't even need to do them. I have found that the door will close even without removing these. And this magnet sticks fairly nicely. Watch this, it clips down. Now it does move around a little bit, it's quite easy. So I would actually recommend using those little self-adhesive little pads that will lock it in place. But look, while it's in place, I'm gonna close the door and just show you how it really does stay in place when you close it. It stays in place just fine. So there, the door is closed, and then we'll open it back up again. And you can see without the tape, it shifts just a little bit in the back. You're gonna see right here that we do have a little bit of shift. So I definitely recommend putting that tape on to hold it in place. But the point is, the door closes just fine. And this has a lot of different settings for the LED sequence. All right, the nice thing with the back is that there is no aluminum plate to remove. Now, the downside is that this bends a little bit, so you're gonna have to get some tape to really hold it into place. What's really nice is even if you don't secure it in place with that small bend, take a look at this. It closes just fine as it is. And this actually does not shift at all. Watch this. Closed really nicely. And I did check it earlier that the light does turn off. Opening it up, it's perfectly in place. It didn't shift at all. So I really like the mirror look. And again, at night, this really, really pops, and it makes your car look like luxury, especially if you're rolling up with your car super shiny. Let's say you just had a ceramic coat put on, or you waxed your car, everything's shiny. These LED lights are just gonna make it pop. And again, you don't need to have these rainbow colors. There's a lot of different sequences you can select from. There you can see it timed out. After a certain period of time, it turns off automatically. It says, do not use quick chargers when you're charging it. And it says, switch to open a single point yellow button. Turn off, long press the yellow button, can be closed 4 seconds. So that's what that's talking about. There is no yellow button. I was looking for that for a while. Basically what they're talking about is on the unit, there's a little button there, and you basically use a toothpick or the tool that comes with this, and you hold it on there for a period of time, and that will turn it off. All right, from here, let's go ahead and install the strips that go on this front console area. So mine is quite dirty, I'm sure, underneath here. So I do have some isopropyl alcohol that I'm going to use to wipe down the area just to make sure that the adhesive sticks really, really well. Put my wedge in right here. And I can actually hold my finger in. Now look, it just popped out in the back. There we go. Yeah, you just have to pull. A lot easier when you're on the right side of the car. And now I'm used to the sound. It's awfully frightening when you hear it for the first time. So before I get the adhesive, I'm gonna grab my rubbing alcohol and wipe this down really good so the adhesive tape will stick forever. Here's my 70% isopropyl alcohol. Thankfully, this alcohol dries fairly quickly. Now that we have these light strips stuck onto the sides, we're gonna go into the back to fish the wires through and then plug everything in. In the back, you can see I have this screen installed, but if you don't, it's just gonna pop right off. Basically, you grab on the corners and just pull out. The original unit is actually easier to take off than this one. And then there's gonna be a little cable. You're gonna disconnect the cable to remove your unit. And then what you're gonna do is come down below and you're gonna have this little unit right here. You can use your wedge, and the wedge is actually recommended. What you do is you grab your wedge and you find a spot to put it inside and you pull this off. Now, I have had better success just pulling it off. If you pull on the left and right, then mine comes off. And then here's your port. You're just gonna unplug this. Now, I already have one in here, and this is again from the screen. So you can just daisy chain these. And then you want to tuck this in as best you can. Now, you can get multiple of these in here. It's not too tricky. Some models might be tough. So
If you are used to using a screen, for example, I have a friend with a Model Y and he didn't have any leeway with the cables. I think he'd have to cut something in here to accommodate multiple devices like this, which it's possible. It would just be a little bit of extra work. Before we do that, there's a little power unit that goes onto this cable here. So I'm going to plug that in right now. I'm going to have to get a T20 star screw to remove these guys. Once those screws are off there, you can just grab this unit here and pull up, and the whole thing will come off. Don't worry about breaking anything. You won't break anything with that unit coming off. All these are going to come up here. There we go. Snaps right back in really quickly and easily. Great. Now the next step is to take this cable here and push it through this slot. And it shouldn't be too hard. It looks like it's a little bit larger. We're just going to push it through. Grab it here and pull the cable all the way through. Once I plug that in, I don't see any lights turning on yet. Okay, an interesting turn of events. The reason why the LED lights weren't turning on is because when I plugged this in, it wasn't going all the way in to make a connection. The clearance is just so tight there. Now you can see we can get the cable in there. It'll make a nice solid connection. Yes. Now we're going to get our electrical tape and cover up these holes. Now I'm going to take all of these cables and they're all going to go directly below the vent. We don't want any interference with our vent. Thankfully there's enough space in here to contain all these cables. You can see here how nice and tidy you can get the cables to go tuck inside of there. So I really like how that looks now, so I'm going to reinstall the screen. The back unit has now been installed, so we're going to put the sides back onto the front console area. So there you can see the LED lights, and if we go into the app that we installed here, the Magic Lantern app, it should auto connect, and usually you don't have any issues with that. And then what you can do is select the different colors. So here's red, you can select purple, green, all these really nice colors. Now, it doesn't look as great on camera here compared to what I'm seeing in person. It lights up really nice and it goes all the way back. I really love that. And at night, when it's really dark, that's just gonna pop so nicely. There's also an LED accessory you can get for your wireless charging pad up above here as well. That's a separate LED product. I don't have wireless charging, but I'm sure that I could add something up in here as well. And now for the cup holder. This thing is super easy to install. You just lift open your center console. You take this and you connect it inside of here. Now I want to say before I go and do all that, I want to show you down at the bottom, this little screw cap comes undone. And then we have our packets. So I'm going to take the charm and open that up, and we'll put that inside of here. Without touching it, I'm going to slide it out. Hopefully there's a little hole in the middle. Indeed there is. We're going to see if we can push it down enough on that little pin. You can see actually the pin has like a little, almost like a fan, but that's offset just a little bit. So that's actually going down as far as it will go. So I actually didn't need any gloves whatsoever. So that's it. That will hold in place. That heat doesn't actually, that heating element doesn't touch the fragrance unit at all. From there, I'm just going to place the cap back on. And screw it in place. It's actually a bit tough with that pad on there. There we go. Once you screw it in place, it locks. And now we can take the unit, turn it upside down, place it into here. And then the rest is really easy. We just take this unit here, open up our little cover for the cigarette lighter, plug this in here, and then we get the LED to match. Now, wouldn't you know, it turns green straight out of the gate. So to change the colors, you can press this button here. There's a yellow, now kind of a red, purple, blue, all sorts of different colors. My favorite is when it's rotating through the colors. So we'll see if we can get both of them to do the rainbow effect. Oh, there, it's already on the rainbow effect. There, it's rotating through a series of different colors. We'll see if we can find that setting in the app here as well. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to go to the style and do the autoplay. They have magic forward. They have, I like the magic forward. And it looks like those are also rotating through. So magic forward or autoplay. Magic forward is kind of cool. Magic back. So this is a lot to play with. We'll leave it on magic forward for now. Really cool multicolored lights. And then this cable just tucks inside of here. And then we can close this up. We have these little buttons right here. So if you push this button, you can turn the unit off. You do not need to turn the unit off when you get out of your car. I did find that out. So it will automatically turn off when the car goes to sleep. I probably will be turning it off just for peace of mind anyway. Because what I did is I tested this out where I walked away and the unit would stay on for a little while. It's better to turn it off here, or it's easier to turn it off here than it is to open up inside. I had some LED lights before that I purchased off of Amazon. I can't remember exactly which company was selling them. They were expensive, and I had to tear apart a lot of the car to route the cables all the way through here. And with that set, I always needed to unplug it. But with this, I don't need to unplug it. All I need to do is just toggle this switch. So there's 4 settings. If you push it all the way on, all 3 of these lights will illuminate. And that is the highest heat level. If you push it down, now you've got 2. Push it down one more time, and now it's 1. So that depends on how much fragrance you want inside of your car. And then obviously the last setting is to turn it off completely. Now turning it off completely, I do not think it disables the USB ports. We're going to test that right now to see if you can still use those ports with the LED lights off and the heater off. All right, here's the test. Let's go ahead and plug in the cable and see if our phone is charging. Yes, it is. So it does charge even though you turn the unit off. That is great. So you don't have to have the heating element running or the LED lights running to use the USB ports. I absolutely love that. That is the best feature of this cup holder by far, is having all of these extra ports right here. And this holds cups the same as the original one, and it actually looks nicer and cleaner than the original one. I am a big fan of this unit and will be using it all of the time. And these lights are awfully nice as well, and it's easy to turn them off. So if I go into the lights setting, I can go into the adjust and turn them off completely by toggling this little switch. So you don't have to have the lights running. And then another thing is, while the music is running, so it basically goes with the music. Now you can also have it go with the microphone. So you say allow every time I speak, you can see the lights go on and off. So if you're listening to some music in your car, you could also have these lights synchronized with the music. So my favorite is just coming into the style and selecting one of these to run with. All right, so last but not least, I did check just to confirm the level setting with these. I did use a voltmeter to confirm these settings, and I did see that it pulses that heating element up and down between a certain voltage. I think it's like 0.72 volts, and then it goes down to 0 and back up, and again, and it just kind of cycles. It's like a pulse modulation that allows it to heat up. Just interesting to know. And then the current changes, or the resistance through that heating element changes when you have this toggled, when you're going from 3 to 2 to 1. Okay, so you do have to toggle the left one to get the lights to turn on, so that's interesting. If I turn it all the way off like this, even though you turn this on, you're changing the light settings, the lights won't turn on until you turn on this left button. So weird to me that you have to run the heating element to also run the lights. That is a feature I did not know about. I figured you could run the lights without having the heating element turned on. Evidently, you cannot, so interesting to note. Okay, the ultimate reveal with all of the LED lights. You can see here the front. Look at how beautiful that looks. Look at the colors. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, right? Lights up so nice.
Overall, I think these make a great addition for your Model 3 or Model Y. I will be using that cup holder with those USB ports all the time. The LED lights on the door sills look great at night, and the cup holder LED lights, those are also really great. The LED lights going up across the console, the only issue I ran into was with that power connector not fitting completely with the compartment. But other than that, the install was pretty easy, I would say. Not too much effort compared to some installs for aftermarket accessories. If you use my discount code TechGeek, you get 20% off of all Hansshow Auto accessories on HanssshowAuto.com. The link is down below in the description. Thanks for checking this out. I'll see you guys in the next one.